Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. So we are progressing in our journey from the point of recruiting, having recruited, first things that we do, then we do a fast start plan, then we do a bit of coaching on calling. And now what this is all about is calling. And if you're disappointed, I'm so sorry. But I'm going to be hitting hard here because I think there are lots of people that believe you can do all this by texting and WhatsApping and Facebook Messenger and emailing. Well, you can't. If you really, really, really want to be successful, there is no shortchange here to communication. It is about picking up the phone. And that's because, as I will repeat, even if I become a gramophone, a stuck gramophone, the reality is all those other means of what we call communicating, they're not really. They're actually blasting a post, a bit like telling someone there's a date going on. Oh, come to my birthday. And then you wait for the responses. And there's always the stragglers, aren't there? Do you ever find that no matter what you do, there's always somebody that leaves it to the last minute? A bit like school homework. Do you remember being set that? And I can remember some of the boys at school, they'd be doing it on the bus on the way, the first day back at school. And so we've got to be honest with ourselves and really understand that in reality, communication is where it's two ways, where people hear your voice and then they can instantly respond. And that's communication. And obviously the best communication in the world is when we're face to face, because there is everything going on. There is not only our voices, our passion, our intonation, there's our body language. I think they feel our energy, as I call it, even though I'm not that spiritual. I absolutely know that they feel it. When I go out and do my chickens, they know that I love them. They understand because they know that I am talking away to them, not in chicken language, but in that they know they can feel my kindness, as I put it. All right. And this is no different. This is no different. So you've got a new partner. You've done the fast start plan. You've sent them the scripts. You've asked them to write it out. You've asked them to have a practice. Do you just what I call cross your fingers and hope that something's going to happen? Because I know that a lot of people do. I really know that. In fact, the very experienced know that you cannot rely on that at all. What you have to do is set them a to-do thing. And mine is always when I send my email with all the stuff from the fast start plan, please let me know when you've had a practice immediately and we will talk. Because actually, this is the hard bit. If there is a part that's challenging, if there's a part that stretches us and we're going to grow, this is where we grow. This is where I think they say you put on your big girl pads, okay? Without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, sorry, boys, and you put on your big boy pants as well. All right, and not leaving you out. So you're going to ring them, and I would suggest that the first thing you ask them is, how do you feel about what you've been doing and seeing? Ask them, did they look at their goals? Was there anything that they wanted to add to those goals? And you're probably thinking, oh, I wasn't expecting Lisa to say that. Because I tell you what, in reality, when they're in front of us, whether it's Zoom or face to face, it's often that they realize the things that are important to them, they may not have even mentioned. All right. So now you've got to ask them, and I'd write that down if I was you. Ask them, is there anything else that they forgot about that actually was really important? Because what's going to drive somebody to want to do something is what they're going to get out of it. They're, I believe it or not, folk, at this stage, they don't know us. even if they were friends for life, when it comes to working together, you don't know them. And you cannot expect them to want to do anything because you think that they should do it for you or for the company. No way. How much is at stake? Come on, let's be honest. What's at stake here? Well, the answer, I'm afraid to say, is it's £10. And that is not a big motivator. Okay, it really, really isn't. I'm going to read you a little excerpt from something that I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm struggling today. From something that I'm going to be sending out. And it was something I found by Keith Schreiter and Big Al, his brother, Tom Schreiter. And this is quite significant. And it's headed, "If it doesn't work, I quit." New distributors have weak commitments and convictions. They give up when someone tells them no. Is that true? I've had loads of them. So they go to their first few friends and they say, no, not interested. They don't follow the script which you gave them. They go in there and say, I can save you money on your gas and electric. Well, straight away, all the objections come up, don't they? Because they'll get things like, I've just signed into a new contract. I'm in a fixed. That person doesn't realise there's £400 to help them switch. They haven't seen the presentation, which is the solidifier, the facts and information to help them make real proper decisions. But people will make judgment and pass a decision. In fact, I love what I used to hear Craig say. They dismiss something before they know what they're dismissing. Fascinating. Is it clever? No. But people do it all the time. And it's because up until that point, they've done the best for their families that they believe what they've had to their disposal, but they haven't had UW. And it's different, you see. So he says here, have you ever heard this conversation? Your new distributor complains, I talked to my 3 best friends at work. They didn't want to join and didn't even want to try the product. This business doesn't work. 100% of the people I've talked to, all 3, have turned me down. I don't think this business is for me. Can I tell you, that goes on the whole time. Now, what you need to do is you've got to give it some, you've got to forewarn them, you've got to arm them, okay? So I tell everyone, my parents, my family, my friends, not one of them would support me. None of them. And I remember thinking, why not? I had blazing rows with my parents. My late husband almost had to pull me off my mother because I was like, Mum, why would I lie to you? Mum, why would I pull a fast one over you? Mum, I love you. You're the person that matters to me. I care about you. Why would you think I'd do something to hurt you? Isn't that the stuff we think? It is. But that's not what's going on in anyone's mind. Believe me, it's not. So I don't think this business is for me, they say. Well, it's easy to give up when our commitments are small. Now, just imagine this. What if your new distributor invested, wait for it, £150,000 to open a restaurant in his neighbourhood? Do you think he'd complain when they say, my best 3 friends at work didn't come and eat at my restaurant when I opened it this week? I want to quit. This is too much work. I hate it. Do you think they'd actually say that? Do you think they'd be more like, well, they'd put up with their friends not coming, their relatives not coming, unmotivated staff, city taxes, bookkeeping, insurance, bad weather, and a host of other problems because they've invested £150,000? Does it make it different? Why? Because investing £150,000 is a much bigger commitment. When we are committed, we handle rejection and problems better. We don't give up at the first little issue. Okay. Now, the new investor, your new distributor, hasn't invested 150,000. He's invested £10. Oh my God, you can't even hardly get 2 cups of coffee for that these days outside. Okay. When you get this business right, how by reinforcing how big this business could be for their distributor, this is what we should say. When you get this business right, you could earn enough to leave your job, spend time with your family, earn more than your boss. Now, learning and building this business won't happen overnight. Depending on your skills and commitment, it could take a few years. So let me give you the good news and the bad news. First, the bad news. In the beginning, you will experience lots of discouragement and seem overwhelmed. There is so much we don't know when we start, and it will take time for people to feel comfortable with you in your new business. Is that not true? Do people pigeonhole us? Yeah, they absolutely do. They won't join or buy right away. They will wait and see if you're committed over the long haul. So it might be months before your friends and relatives join or buy. Can I say that's true? I'm so glad I wasn't dissuaded by my family and friends. All of them are customers and have been now for donkey's years, decades actually, except my sister. My sister would never, ever entertain anything I do. She would hate the idea that I was earning a £5 a month off her. Hey ho. But my sister can tell you, she can tell you all about the benefit system and how to get all the benefits that you need. Dare I say any more? Okay, we live on the wrong side of the value fence. Yeah. Now let's give them the good news. You don't have to risk £150,000. You only have to put a few quid into your business. And if you can be patient and learn new skills, then in time, people will trust your commitment to your new business, and they will start getting easier and easier every month. Just think about this. How long does it take for a professional footballer to learn his skill? It might be 10, 15 years learning practice before you actually earn your first paycheck. In network marketing, it's apprenticeship. You earn while you learn. That's good. In fact, they don't do anything really for the first few. And some don't do anything for the first 6. Right? We do it all. They sit and watch and learn and write. So what we've got to do is we've got to set them up for the fall. You've got to say to them, not everybody is going to instantly say yes. The biggest problem we have is they don't believe the scripts work. This is the problem. So how do you get around this? Right, okay. So I set them up. This isn't to say that they still don't do. Right. I set them up and I say to them, have you ever driven? Yes. You passed your test? Yes. Okay. I'm now your driving instructor. Okay. And everything I'm going to show you is going to be going towards helping you pass your test faster than later. Is that okay? I say to them, so when I say to you, this works, please do this. I want you to do it exactly the way I say, because if you do it a different way, you won't pass your test. You won't earn any money. You're now trying to get their commitment that they promise to do it the way you say. This is important. If they go out there and blast people with, oh, I can give you the best broadband. Oh, it's a fantastic mobile deal. Oh, there's this incredible card. Oh my God, you spend money and you get money back. And they'll say it all wrong. What we do is we say to them, look, a really good idea is when someone says to you, what's it all about? Because they do, don't they? Of course they do. Hey, come on. If anyone's got half of a brain cell, they're going to ask, what's it all about? I would expect that. Yeah. The best answer I've ever found is, well, you know, when you go shopping, how would you like to get money back on your everyday shopping? That's what happens here. This is getting money back on your everyday shopping. Would that be cool? They say, yeah. Say, look, bear with me. I say to them, try and do it in your language, but something like, bear with me. I'm learning my craft. I've got to get off the theory. I've got to get into practice. I've got to sit in that driving seat and I've got to start doing. And the only way I can do is actually to have a real live person to let me practice on. In fact, could you be my human guinea pig? And you all, some of the best phrases I've seen in the scripts. Do you know what? I need 6 very special people to help me start. Would you be one of my first best 6? Oh, I thought of you immediately. You were one of the people that I really value the opinion of. Could you be one of the people that I can have a practice on? Because I'd really value your opinion at the end. This stuff works. We've got to drum it in that this is what's got to go on, because you've got to get them in front of the screen or face to face, whatever it may be. Now, I say to them, please don't panic. And you've got to sort of really solidify these appointments. You've got to consolidate them, because people, if I said to any of you, are you free next week? You'll go, oh no, I'm really busy. It's most people's reaction. We've got to get their brain into gear to help them to think. All right. So I say to them, now you can say, I've got a mentor, a coach who's training me or coaching me, and she's a really busy lady. Please adjust this to you. I say she's a really busy lady. She's mentoring lots of people. She's coaching lots of people. And I can't possibly let her down, because what I've realized is if I let her down, do you know what? I'm not just letting her down. I'm actually letting loads of other people down, because this appointment we're going to set up for my practice, any one of them could have had it. And if we let her down, do you know what? There could be 50 people that could have taken that slot. I really don't want to do that. Isn't that a great way of the new partner offloading the responsibility? Isn't that a great way? And you know what? It works. So I say to them, right, once they've said, yeah, okay, you then give them the alternative close. You give them the alternative close, okay? And you say to them, right, you say, are you available, knowing that they've already got their mentor's diary and their own? Are you available next Thursday evening or Friday evening? Now that gets somebody to go, oh, I need to look at my diary. Or it's meant to. Now they look and they go, oh yeah, I can do Friday evening. You then say to them, give them choices, because people want choices. You then say, would that be 6, 7 or 8 o'clock? She's available any of that time. And then they will say, oh, could we make it say 7 o'clock? And you say, great. Then the consolidation.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, could you mute yourself, Sean, please?
Trying to.
Yeah, no, hang on, you're interrupting.
You have to do it for me.
Right, okay. Right, okay, so where was I? I've lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So then you then say, you tell your partner to say, right, everything I've just said, she's really busy. Okay, this is very important that we don't let her down, because there could be so many people we're letting down. So 7 o'clock Friday, do you want to just really double check there's nothing that can get in the way? You haven't got to take a kid to a dance class or something like that, whatever it may be. Yeah, it's consolidating it, it's cementing it in. Guys, I promise you, if you do this on 20k stands, if you do this anytime, this is what keeps the appointment in place, and you will lessen the cancellations. So then they've now possibly got some appointments, but what you've also got to do is really arm them with that. It's tempting, it's really tempting to not do this stuff. And you've got to explain to them, this is a skilled set. There's big psychology behind it. So, for example, if I was to say, hypothetically, to Mike, are you free next Friday? He'd probably go, no, I'm not. And you know what? You've probably already set up for a fall. But if I said to Mike, are you free Saturday morning or maybe next Monday night? I've got more of a chance, because he thinks, oh, at least she's given me an option, a choice. People like choices. Yeah. Now, this is something weird and wonderful, but it works. You give someone a choice of two things and they can't do either. Don't ask me how this happens. They feel obliged psychologically to give you a choice back of two more that is available to them, because they feel, well, the least I can do is say to her, oh, well, I can't do Friday or Saturday morning or Monday, but I can do Tuesday, or I can do Wednesday morning. And what happens is you've got a better chance of it all coming together. Yeah. And then you say to them, even when you've got that appointment, you then say to them, great, I'm writing that in pen or in ink in my diary. It's a firm appointment, and I shall let my mentor know. Okay, that's so important. Yeah. So you've said all this, then you've got to do the hideous thing of the lot. You've got to do some role play. Oh my God, does everybody hate role play? Now, in the good old days, when we had classroom training, and there are people like Kev and Lindsay and Rod and Val, Steve, Mike, you know this. We used to do role play, didn't we? And we used to get you to go off into a corner somewhere or outside the door and actually make some calls. Now, the problem is there are some people that will make people in front of Zoom make a call. I actually think that's very intimidating. I can't think of anything more intimidating. I just wouldn't do it. However, I will role play with them. And I'll say to them, and this is how you find out or catch them out, if they've actually written anything out. You say to them, right, come on, I'm going to be your best friend, your prospect. Go on, you're going to ring me and you're going to use that phone. All right. And I tell you what, you will find 99% of them have not done anything like write it out or anything at all. They haven't got a fat chance of doing anything, because I tell you what they're going to do. In essence, they're going to think, I'll send a few text messages. I'll send them out and hope that it will happen. What you have to say to them and explain to them is what I've said before, that isn't communication. You are not going to hear their sincerity. They're not going to hear yours. Really, really important. So I know what I'm going through at this moment is really boring, but I can't emphasize enough how important it is. I'm now going to unmute you all because I would like you to participate. How do I get you unmuted? Hang on. Ask all to unmute. There you go. Right. I'm going to direct this straight away to somebody that's very experienced on it. Mike, do you do anything different? And if you do, would you like to share?
You know something? I'm delighted that I do very little different to what you've done. In fact, when it comes to the alternative close, it's something I do so naturally in life. If I'm talking to my kids, right, are we going Saturday or Sunday? Right, do you want to go in the morning or the afternoon? Well, I know it's the afternoon because they ain't up in the morning. But these things and the consolidation bit is so key. You said it can be boring. Do you know something? It's not, because if it gets a result, then that's great. And consolidating it is the bane of my life. If people just say, I spoke to John and yet he's going to be ready at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock to me is 5 o'clock, Lisa. It's not 10 past, quarter past, or half past, because I've got another one set up for 6 o'clock.
Correct.
So I'm very, very prompt with timing. So yeah, I'm pleased to say I don't do anything, and I've probably learned a lot of it from you without even realizing it.
So now going on, the next stage, what I want to say here is, because it's interesting what Mike said, all of these appointments, what I ask for, you might want to write this down. I ask for their prospect's name. I ask for their relationship to them. And then I ask for their email address. And the reason I ask for an email address, I have an email that goes out that I send to their prospect. They're copied in, and it's really nice. It's really friendly. And what I shall do is I'm going to get it together, and I'll just ask you all privately, not on the group, just all privately, if you could just drop me, can I have it, Lisa? I'm happy to share this, what I send, because I found that it solidifies the appointment more. And it does one other thing. If that person that they prospected was flaky, believe me, you know instantly, because they'll write back and say, oh, I've changed my mind. But invariably what it does is it solidifies that appointment, and they realize actually this was a genuine, real proper practice with a real trainer mentor that said that they were going to help them. And it's very friendly, and it actually says to them, could you ensure that you've got the most up-to-date Zoom app software downloaded, if possible, on a PC, a laptop, or at worst, a tablet? And then I always put in brackets, sorry, a mobile isn't sufficient, because you won't get to see everything that we need you to see for compliancy. Now, don't get me wrong, some still come on their mobiles. I did have one young lad that he was walking around the supermarket with his baby girl in the trolley on a mobile phone and believed that that was an appointment. Now, I'm telling you now, that was down to the partner who hadn't properly made out that this was something important. All right. So the email that I send out, I think, is vital. It works. It also shows a professionalism. Okay. Because I think there's an awful lot, and sorry what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say younger people in the network that are very, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it. I'm going to use the word flaky, but I don't know that flaky is the right word. But they're very sort of like, oh, well, it's just a bit of a game. Oh, you know, they say, I'll pinch 20 minutes of your time. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Pinching 20 minutes is the wrong language to me. That actually denotes that this isn't a professional thing that's happening, a proper practice for somebody. Yeah. So I'm very, very keen that this stuff is done well. I hope that what I've been talking about is of use. What I will say to you, I'm going to next week. I would like to continue this, but I think we're probably going to be doing what I call a resume roundup of all the announcements and the stuff from Power Up. If I didn't, there'd be something wrong. Okay. So we'll definitely be doing that next week. Any questions before we jump off? Or did that kind of is there anything that's burning in your mind? No?
Now,
Happy?
one thing that I throw in, Lisa, and this is when the person answers the call, their friend, is right at the very beginning to make them realize that this is a practice run. Listen, Lisa, thank you so much for supporting John. We really appreciate this. And that gets them kind of, for me, it gets them locked in, that they realize this isn't just a play about. It is we really do appreciate you doing that, because we need to get some practice. And hey, listen, it might turn out that you like what we've got, but that's not the point of today. And it kind of breaks the ice as well, doesn't it?
And what you're going to be pleased to see, Mike, the email that goes out actually has something like that written in it. It is actually in there,
Really?
exactly that. It basically says, look, really, something like, really respect that you're giving up your time, which is the most valuable commodity we have. But this is wonderful because you are enabling, let's say, John, to get off the theory into the practice. And we also hope that you may find this jolly useful as well. So actually what you said, it's in the email. So it kind of adds the authenticity to what we're doing. All right. So guys, next week, it will all be about Power Up. Thank you very much for coming on. This has been recorded, and same time, same place. And oh no, see you at Power Up. Yeah. Bye.